Well, Australia just about do their part of the deal to set up an absolute gangbusters game tomorrow. What does gangbusters mean?
It means different things depending on your proclivities.
Welcome back to the Tub, powered by Cred. Cred paydays are bringing insane rewards during this World Cup. It's running all the way up until November 6th. Of course, as we know, Pez, you can pay all your bills with Cred, not just your credit card, your phone bill, electricity bill. You can also pay, well, if the Australian cricket team, Pez, I reckon you got a couple of physio bills coming up because there's a couple of niggles, as we've understood, in the dressing rooms, a couple of niggles in the hamstrings. We don't know what Tim David's got. I tell you what he has got, a nice head of hair.
Yeah, that's
good
nice.
salad.
Yeah, that's right. He can console himself with whatever injury, mystery injury he has
Yes.
that others know about. But we reserve the right to go like, he's got something, we'll find out what it is.
Got something.
Ice on it, whatever.
Might be
Ask his
syphilis.
manager, I don't know. But a really nice salad. Listen, here goes. What are we
listening.
looking at? Australia wins by 42 runs.
Yeah.
You want to go through some scores or should we just jump in?
Australia made 179 for 5. Ireland all out for 137.
Thanks. Look, it was. I want to try and sum up the feeling of Australia.
Sum it up, baby.
It was a win, but was it the right kind of win? Because they titillated us, Australia.
I'm not satisfied.
They titillated us. It was a controlled first innings,
Yeah.
and we're going to get into that, and that's fine. It threatened to explode, but didn't quite, particularly with a very sort of lax last couple of overs. Of course, you could credit the opposition, but that's not what we do in this country.
No.
And then we had them 5 for 25, and I will say to now money, we had them 5 for 25.
Yeah.
An absolutely fucking excellent innings from Lorcan Tucker, which we'll also
Sure.
get into. But that's
It's weird that you know his name.
Neither here nor there. I looked up his Twitter, but anyway. It's like, sometimes I'd like to feel good about like rewarding my son with a piece of chocolate or something like that,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
Seems oddly sort of cliche, but anyway. And you think, yeah, here we are. Here's your piece of chocolate. He goes, no, I want 2. Like I'm my son in this situation. I'm like, Australia offers me a piece of chocolate, and then I'm like, where's the second? I want to start gorging, and I have been known to gorge at various times.
Sure.
But that's neither here nor there. I think as a nation, at 5 for 25, we're thinking it's a feast on here, baby.
Yes,
we're going to start to actually deal with some of the issues that arose with the way we got smashed by New Zealand a couple of days ago or whenever the fuck that was.
Yeah.
But it turns out we didn't.
You know what, Pez? This win that Australia's had tonight, it doesn't feel like a full and satisfying erection. It doesn't feel like it's like, yeah, I've got what I wanted tonight. It doesn't feel like that to me.
And if you mind me asking, it might be private because you've raised it. Do you ever have erections that aren't full and satisfying, and yet it's an erection?
Yeah, definitely.
There are different types, aren't there?
Of course there are. Yeah, and
sometimes you're raging.
Oh, yeah. Like New Zealand were in that first game. That was a raging election. That was a raging.
No, you're talking about. No, you've been reading about Brazil.
Força Brazil. That first one was a raging erection.
Yeah.
But this game was like,
Yeah.
Kohli
v Pakistan, raging erection.
Oh my God. I thought it would never go down.
Which is a disgrace.
Grim.
But no doubt he would have had one himself too.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Okay. First thing, Finch and Stoinis. So Aaron Finch finishes player of the match.
Yeah.
63 off 44. Yeah. I'll have you know, sir.
Yep.
I guess that's pretty good. He plays the anchor role. At one point, it was like 35 off 30 or something like that. He seems to be playing this anchoring innings, which facilitates the power hitters that come after him. I'd include Mitch Marsh in that. Marsh, Maxwell, Stoinis, David, and then Wade is your finisher. He plays the anchor role, and it's quite new to us, isn't it? Because we've seen Finch as like, no, Finch goes at 150, 160, and now he's sort of going closer to 100. And it's like, I'm not sure. This isn't satisfying me.
I think you have to say 63 or 48.
But then he catches up at the end.
He catches up and he plays well, particularly at the end of the innings. So you got to hand that to him. He's player of the match. You just can't take anything away. He's got he's done his hammy. Hopefully he's back. Got the impression listening to him on the field that he's a bit like, I've had this before, but we're just going to have to have a scan and see.
A hamstring like that doesn't get fixed real quick. Like once you do a string, once you pop on a string.
Good
night, nurse.
That's right. Good night, nurse, who's in my room just having a sleep.
And her name, Irene. Good night, Irene.
Not to be confused with Come On Eileen by Dexy and the Midnight Runners.
That's what Australia almost did at 5 for 25.
Did you say Good Night Irene or Come On Eileen? It's a very different vibe. Hey, with Finch, you're right. Like, no, I just want to just front end. He's player of the match. He's 63 or 48.
Right.
He's proven people wrong again,
Boxes
including us. It's tick box exercise. Like, at the top of the innings, like of the first sort of 30-odd runs or whatever, as other people seem to be making runs more quickly, and his innings feels laboured and as though he's treading water a little bit. You're right. He moves into this anchor role, which is a role that Australia needs, because they are a very heavy, hitter-heavy team. They need, it seems, for balance, someone to be able to manipulate the field around and stuff like that. Now, Finch doesn't do that, but he seems to kind of occupy his time at the crease, getting himself into form, trying to kind of middle a couple of balls, and the end result, I'm not sure it's by design, is that he actually just ends up playing the role that Australia needs. Yeah, it reminds me of. Do you remember that episode of The Simpsons where like a doctor is just completely bemused that Mr. Burns is still alive because he just has competing diseases that keep him alive? Like I don't think Finch is trying to play the ankle role. I think he's just trying to bosh it. It just ends up being the ankle role. But to be fair to him, he tees off a little bit at the end, gets them going, and it looks like they're on for 200. And then it just sort of, there's a couple of good overs. The leggy again, I keep it just Delaney. I'm not sure if he'd bowled out by that time, but there was a couple of nice overs from Ireland, and it just left Australia a bit shorter than what they could have been.
It was Delaney and Dockrell, but before then, Barry McCarthy. It was overs 18 and 19 where they took. Australia went for seven, scored 7 runs in those overs. At that point, they were tracking towards 190, 195, maybe 200.
I'm just remembering that warm-up game against India as well, where they basically botched the last couple of overs also, like Tim David was looking good, 15 off 10 or whatever, and just he ends up not out there, doesn't he?
Red ink,
he's red. It's just, I'm greedy. I want 2 chocolates. I want Australia to finish well too, and I want them to make 200.
Yeah, absolutely. But I wonder if we look at it a little bit harshly with this lens because we just want perfection, and
of course,
just trying to figure out if we're good or not. And I'm just not really seeing that many. I don't know.
But you want to talk about Barry Mack?
Barry Mack,
3 for 29.
3 for 29 off 4. Yeah,
and that wonderful save in the field.
Oh fuck,
that was fucking brilliant.
And I wept for his back, his lower back, his coccyx again. I wept for Barry Mack's coccyx. Yeah. Because he landed like right on the base of his spine. I was like, oh Jesus. Yeah. Who was the porn star who was doing a Twitch thing and she like jumped into, have you seen this? There's I forget her name.
Thank God.
I forget her name, but she was like at this Twitch event, and then there was like these foam.
Oh, I see.
There was these foam pieces that they were like sort of like wrestling on kind of thing, her and someone else, and then she like jumped into the pit and it was poorly constructed. She like lands right in the spine. She's like broken her back and shit. Anyway, it just reminded me of that. And also we should say
she came a cropper.
Josh Little also 2 for 21 of his 4 was also very good. They took down Mark Adair though, went for 59 of his 4. All right, let's get into the second thing.
Stoin Papi looked good.
Sorry,
too. That's all right. Papi looked good.
Papi
again.
form batter for Australia.
Good game, bowled well too.
Yeah, really good by the chop out. He finished 35 of 25. He also took 1. He took 1 for 6 off his one chop.
Yeah, that's a good chop out.
And as we heard on Matt Wade on commentary, he won't be getting chopped tonight. He won't be chopping tonight.
I think he was talking about Zorby.
He was talking about Zorby, yeah.
Zorby also, let's go into Australia. Zorby 2 for 19 off 4 and 250 wickets for Australia. Unfortunately for him, apparently he needed 3 wickets to get a chop tonight. I'm pretty sure that's what Matt Wade said. I'm pretty sure Matt Wade said you're not getting a chop tonight. I don't know if maybe Zampa before the game said, well, if I get
3 in a chop.
This is unfair. And he's
so the second thing, Bez, Lorcan Tucker, fuck me, batting 3 for Ireland, 71 of 48, red at the end. What an innings this was. What an unbelievable innings. The next top score was 14 from Gareth Delaney. There was 2 other scores of 11. No one else made double figures. At one point, Australia had them 5 for 25, and Australia was hunting for an exceptional advancement of their net run rate, which I still don't really understand how it works, but they're still in the minuses, Australia, and that's now dead. But Lorcan Tucker made a lone hand, 71 out of 137, 9 fours and a 6, hit him at 147. that was a remarkable innings when no one else even looked like getting off the square, and he was fucking awesome.
Not only 5 for 25, but 5 for 25 with Mitch Stark swinging it at pace for the first time in a little while too. A little shout out to Stark there. And this guy just came in, and I'll call him this guy because that's how Australians treat all opposition, really, if you haven't heard of them before. He just came out and played his shots like, oh, this won't last long. And it was an exceptional innings. Now, he was dropped, wasn't he?
Cummins didn't drop him because he didn't really get a hand on him.
Yeah.
By who, sorry?
A former nickname of his. that we refer to off air. Anyway, he dropped him. But otherwise, I saw that the Barmy Army has recently changed its Twitter handle to Lorcan Tucker's Barmy Army. It is the net run rate issue is you're right, like it's now dead for Australia. If all teams finish on 7 points, it means England, who are already ahead of Australia, have won both of their games. Is that right? And
no, they yes, sorry, it does.
Both of their
yes,
games.
You're right.
Which means they can only increase from here.
Yep.
So unless Australia have, like do this to Afghanistan,
one of the all-time biggest victories, and England only win narrowly.
That's right. Then
Meadows. It was a stretch, but I felt it.
If you're watching there early, then if they win narrowly, that's a ruined word now.
Yeah, that's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're getting into the third thing. What does all this mean? So we're looking at the table right now. Australia does go into second place. They play 4 games. They're on 5 points. They're minus 0.304, the famous net run rate. The net run rate is gone. In this game, I think if they bowled Ireland out for less than 105, they would have gone ahead.
They needed to
England.
win by 75 or more.
Right, okay. But I've got to say, but even then, like that, England still have 2 games, and they would still require like a fucking demolishing, and England to win narrowly in both their games. So, I mean, it really does rely on England now losing to either Sri Lanka or New Zealand. That's the only implication, because if New Zealand lose to England and then Ireland in their last game, well, then I think their net run rate's still going to be better than what.
No, it's only on 5.
No, that's only on 5 points ago. So that's another way that it can happen. But you really are relying on tomorrow night's massive game at the Gabba, England and New Zealand.
This is Australia's lifeline to stay in the comp.
Stay in the tournament.
It's the skeletons.
Yeah,
Australia need the skeletons. Just wondering if there was anything else from the game as well. Oh, I mean, there was a question of who was captaining when Finch was off. There was a lot of people who fucking hyperventilating. Is it Warner?
Yeah.
Is Warner captaining? It looks like Warner might be captaining.
Should be doing it.
What I enjoyed seeing was there was some shots of Glenn Maxwell basically overriding whoever was making the decision, which I like, because obviously this is cricket.
Yes, it
boys
is cricket.
and girls, if the captain goes off the field, it's fucking Lord of the Flies.
100%.
So, and whoever is sort of nominally captain, they should be undermined at the first turn. They're not the captain.
100%.
And says 3 or 4 guys who've captained before, had a few views themselves. Sort of thing you like to see. Either way, all roads lead to Cameron Green. And
I saw him come on the field with a conch, so I think that means that he
can do what he want. What he want.
Hashtag ASKTGC.
I put the question out.
I put the question out.
So let's just
What
go
do the people
through them.
say?
Durand says Aussie's not looking like a unit. What is going on? Man, there's plenty of units in that Aussie side, believe me.
It has been for years.
It has been for a long time. I've just seen the word Rolf Harris. I'll leave that one out.
Oh my God.
Yeah. How come Ash Chandra Singer isn't at 3?
Good question.
Something about Rizwan using lip balm. That's got nothing to do with what I asked.
Yep.
Okay, something about net run rate. Someone's just written Cam Green.
Yeah.
What's doing with the piss poor crowd? What's doing with the piss poor crowd, Higgins? We've said before, it's footy season, sort of.
It's cricket, it's October, it's a Tuesday night, it's against Ireland. We have a very tight set of parameters where we're interested in the cricket, and that does not tick many boxes.
Yeah. Rory Jones, is Glenn Maxwell the only Australian who cares about this tournament? Because he's trying to, he seems to get quite animated when there's a wicket or a catch or something like that. And that's the way to show you care.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've learnt that, haven't we? Particularly if you like footy.
That's right. We didn't even say Maxwell got 2 overs in his chop out.
Yeah, and he bowled a great chop out. First over, didn't get too far.
Yes.
Yeah, with 2.
Yes.
So that's a really good chop out.
2 in the chop.
Why do I feel like Aussies aren't going to win the thing, though? I guess
Probably because they're not going to make it to the semis, I guess.
That's from Will Carson. G'day, Will. Gabba crowd giving good vibes from Monday night.
Hey, it's Monday night, yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh,
I think I said Tuesday.
Yeah.
I know what's going on.
Okay. I mean, this is, if you're Lorcan Tucker, let's finish with this. If you're Lorcan Tucker, what are you saying to the boys as you get back to the dressing room? That's from Luke, at Luke Crick.
Fairly obvious. Fuck's sake, lads. We've got to get to training. We've got to work hard. Someone get round me.
And I'll tell you what, if you're in India and you have access to Hotstar, you might be getting around a couple of boys you've seen before.